Hello and welcome to what is, I'm sure, a very well anticipated Tinto maps. We're looking at the kingdoms of Goryeo, or Korea, and also Japan. And immediately you can tell, obviously, this is the political map mode, and Japan is seemingly one whole country, but it does have some secrets kept beneath. So we will go and have a look at that. Yeah, very excited for this one. Japan, obviously a very, very popular nation in EU4, and I'm certain it's going to be just as popular in EU5 as well. So let us have a look. Welcome once more to another week of Tinto Maps. This week we're going to the lands even further to the east and looking at Korea and Japan. So without further ado, or without further Oda. That was terrible. I'm sorry. Let's get started. Anyway, there it is, the map. And then if we want to have a look at the map with wastelands colored in, there it didn't change very much. I mean, there's some wastelands here that didn't change very much, but it's, it's fine. I also want to say, fan of the color. One thing I didn't mention in my Yuan videos, and I should have, and I thought about it before making the videos, but then just forgot to say anything. I think the color for Yuan is terrible. This is not, I don't like it at all. I hope that they change the map color for Yuan, and therefore for all of their tributaries and vassals and such. Japan, though, great color, perfect. Korea during the Goryeo dynasty, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if it's wrong. I'm just going to pretend that it's right. It was under the orbit of Yuan and had very close ties with the Yuan emperors taking Korean wives. The north, though, and also Tamna in Jeju Island, wouldn't be unified under Korea until the following Joseon dynasty. So they are still separated enough, although all of them are also under Yuan. On the other side, Japan starts in a very interesting situation. After a failed attempt to overthrow the shogunate and restore imperial power during the Kenmu Restoration, one of the generals that contributed to such restoration, Ashikaga Takauji, again, pronunciation, in the end established his own shogunate in 1336, just before the start of the game. The emperor had then to flee the capital, and thus we start with a period of northern and southern courts, with two opposing emperors and the shogun fighting for legitimacy. So although it appears unified at first glance, Japan hides many internal divisions within, more on that later. Further south, the kingdom of Ryukyu is not yet unified, so the three mountain kingdoms of Hokusan, Chuzan, and Nanzan vie for supremacy over the island. That is awesome. I didn't realize that. There are 3 tags in Ryukyu. So, the Three Mountains achievement is, if it's going to be in the game, I don't think it is going to be, but maybe it is. Well, they're going to have to either have it be a single one or as starting as one of these 3 tags, then conquer whatever, the world, or probably just Japan. Let's be honest, world conquest, probably not going to be possible. Well, it probably will be. It's probably going to be very, very difficult in EU5. Societies of Pops. Obviously, we saw these up in the north in the previous Tinto maps, but we have the Ainu. I think that was pretty expected. We obviously, with it being uncolonized at the start of the game, I think it was pretty obvious that the Ainu were going to be there as a Society of Pops. Basically already shown in the Manchurian Tinto maps, but they need to be shown here too, especially the Ainu. The dynasties, we have the Ashikaga dynasty over Japan, Wang, and then we've seen all these already. Again, probably not very surprising there. But Ryukyu, we have the Osato, the Aiso, and the Haneji. I have no idea what dynasty Ryukyu starts with in EU4, so if someone wants to, let me know which one of these won in the end. That'd be interesting. As it happens in China, the Goryeo dynasty name is actually not the name of the dynasty itself, which is actually the House of Wang. Okay. Yeah, isn't Korean names like the other way around from what we do in the West? Like they say the dynasty first and then the name, something along those lines. I vaguely remember that being the case. Anyway, on to locations, and holy balls, that is a huge amount of locations in Japan. Also, we'll look at Korea first with North here, which is Obviously, very dense in the central region of Korea, but then less so when you go up into the mountains in the north. And then the south there also looking very, very dense, very nice. I very much like that. Then Japan, and holy, I hope they have said how many locations are in Japan in this, because I ain't counting that, and I think for anyone who does count that you're going to be there for a while. But that is looking super dense, super nice to see, and I think fighting in Japan, like I think the extra location density really helps with combat, with warfare. I think it makes a lot of sense, and is yeah, it makes combat a lot more. I keep wanting to say granular, but I mean, like, you have a lot more control, right? You don't have these huge provinces that you know can't march around somebody in. Like, this distance from here to here might only be, what, 4 locations wide. In EU4, I think that was like 2. So being able to pass by, 2 armies pass by without going into the same province is even more likely now, and it makes more sense. It is more granular. More granular is betterer. Going into the north now as well. Slightly less granular as we're moving further north. And then Ainu itself as well. I mean, even then, Ainu is, what, like 3 provinces or 4 provinces in EU4. This is so much more detail. And then the Kuril Islands, I want to say those are. And some more islands. And yeah, just that's looking awesome. Provinces map mode. Even the provinces map mode, I would say, is more granular than we have in EU4. And yeah, I'm a big fan of what I'm seeing here. Here, as well as with the areas next, we have tried to follow the administrative division of both countries in the period, but we've had to make some adjustments. In Korea, we had to account for the fact that historically, almost immediately after the start of the game, the Joseon dynasty took over and the administrative divisions are somewhat different, so we adjusted them together and had to divide some of the bigger provinces for gameplay reasons. In Japan, the administrative divisions remain virtually unchanged since the establishment of the Ritsuroyo. I pronounced that lovely, don't even worry about it. In the 7th or 8th century until after the Meiji Restoration in 1868. However, we started to make some adjustments, and the smaller ones had to unfortunately disappear. So onto the areas, we have basically the islands, and Kaido. Kenai is quite small, but that's where Kyoto is. I'm pretty sure Tokyo is in Tokaido. But yeah, that's looking really nice. And then on to the terrain. Pretty expected. Lots of hills, flatland, and mountainous regions. I, again, don't see much in the way of farmland, so maybe this is another region that has yet to have its farmland pass, as the same as with China itself. But yeah, I can see some deep ocean there, which is really interesting to see. And then lots and lots of forest, grasslands, woods, but yeah, lots and lots of forest over Japan. Very cool. And there, okay, this is an interesting way to show the map. So it's mostly subtropical with a little bits of continental, but like this gradient is very interesting. I think that's the first time we've seen something like this. I'm kind of fine with that. It does look a bit weird, though. I'm not going to lie. And then Korea is all continental. Very cool. Very mountainous and forested areas both, so the few plains have been taken advantage of. Cool. Development map mode. Again, this area is pretty nicely developed. Not so much as China itself, but yeah, there is definitely areas of a lot of development here, which makes sense. And then some natural harbors as well. We saw the Shili harbor already before, but now looking at Japan, Japan has a lot of potential for a large navy. Looking at this, that's actually huge amounts of really good natural harbors. Korea has fewer, but their few natural harbors seem to be like really good. So someone who controls Japan, or if they control both, I think they're going to have a really powerful navy, it seems. On to cultures. Korean is there, and then Japanese is split into Kyushu, Saigoku, Togoku, and Tohoku. And then Ainu in the north, of course. Very cool. I wasn't expecting to have more than one culture, but I guess maybe I wasn't expecting to not either. Wasn't even thinking about it. But yeah, I like that. More granularity. I would say for the island, because that's a little bit less likely to have huge amounts of cultural mixing. But I'd say there should probably be, Togoku in Saigoku and Saigoku in Togoku. Like, the blending there, I think, needs to be worked on, perhaps. Korea is mainly Korean, and Japan has been divided into 4 main groups. Besides this, we also have Ainu in the north, Jeju in Jeju Island, and Ryukyu in the Ryukyu Islands. On to religions, we have the Mahayana in Korea, that still might be in for a rename, and then Shinto on Japan. Korea has had the same name-pending religion as China, while Japan is Shinto. I must say that this Shinto is not all considered to be a kami-exclusive oriented Shinto, nor the post-Meiji state Shinto in any shape or form. In all effect, it's considered under the Buddhism umbrella, and it's treated as Buddhist Shinto, while of course including some different mechanics and references to the kami too. The name Shinto was chosen basically because it's more recognizable and identifiable with Japan. Besides this, there's also the Ainu religion for the Ainu, and the Utaki religion for the Ryukyu. On to raw materials then, and if I zoom in, I can see quite a lot of rice, I can see quite a lot of fish, quite a lot of legumes. In Korea, see some gold there, see some lead, rice, legumes. Let us have a look at the closer zoomed in versions. And yeah, that's a lot of legumes. Fish there, got iron and coal as well. It's good to see. Silver, some cotton. Got myself some medicaments. We're happy. Then zoomed in more on Japan as well. Yeah, I see quite a lot of rice. I see definitely quite a lot of rice. Some silks as well. Actually, that's a whole lot of silk. So that is really good to see as well. Copper and tin here. We got some medicaments. But yeah, my personal favorite Japanese area to play in EU4 was Shimazu. So looking down at this area, I'm going to be playing with a lot of, copper, legumes, rice, lumber, fruit there. Decent bit of coal as well. Some nice stuff. Up further in the north, some lead, some clay. But yeah, looking like a very resource-rich area. Very nice indeed. Oh, and also we've got the Ainu Island as well. Got some fur in there, and the Kurils, some tea, and what's this? Some more legumes. Not bad area for resources and plenty of rice and fish in Japan to get good sushi. Naturally. The more observant view will see that the resources of Hokkaido have already been adjusted thanks to feedback from previous Tinto Manchuria maps. Cool. As for markets, we have the Izumi and the Kaesong markets. That's very cool. Some may find surprising the presence of Izumi as a market in Japan, but it's the area that served as the main point of entrance for commerce into central Japan, where the merchant town of Sakai developed, until later Osaka developed under Toyotomi and basically took over that function. Population-wise, in Japan there are 9.6 million people, 2.5 for the Koreans. Very cool. And we can have a closer look and see more population breakdowns. I don't think there's too much surprising. There's a lot of people in both of these places. And you can very, very easily see that here. Cool. I'm liking this. I'm liking what I'm seeing very much. But now we have this one. The extraterritorial countries. And I guess this was sort of the elephant in the room, the whole dev diary so far. Why is there just a single entity? That's gonna be kind of boring, kind of bad, kind of shit, whatever. Well, nope, there's not. There are plenty of countries in here. Plenty indeed. We have the extraterritorial countries, which is how they are representing the various, the word escapes me, the various samurai clans. But yes, there is a lot of them, and most of your favorites can be seen, including my own personal favorite, the Shimazu clan, and they're purple again. We are so in, boys. We are so in. Shimazu supremacy is absolute. Definitely want to be playing them. Again, they were my favorite in the background track that you can hear is Shogun 2 Total War. In EU4, Shimazu is my favorite, and I'm looking forward to playing as Shimazu here. I know we've yet to talk about any of this, but just let me know in the comment section below which is your favorite of the Japanese samurai clans. I know Oda is a fan favorite. I see a lot of people liking Oda. But yeah, if there's any others, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, we'll see. Does anyone agree with me that Shimazu is clearly the coolest of all of them? Let's have a look. I'm sure many of you are waiting for this. The samurai clans in Japan are represented as extraterritorial countries, and we've tried to be as close as possible to their distribution territory in 1337. As you can imagine, that's not an easy task, and some more tweaking is needed, so if you have any feedback or extra info on that regard, it would be much appreciated. Unfortunately, there's some overlapping of some clans in the same territory, and only one name can be shown at a time, so not all names are visible. The Oda clan is still there, I promise. I'm not going to lie, I feel like the Oda clan probably should be like on top of whoever's beneath them, but I don't know. There are a total of 143 clans, not counting Ashikaga, plus 2 extra for each of the imperial courts that are present at the start. There's 146 countries to play as. 146 countries to play as in Japan. That is wild. That is actually wild. Related to this, actually, I don't know if those imperial courts are playable, so at least 144, possibly 146. Related to this, each clan will pledge its allegiance to either the northern or southern courts, mainly based on their historical allegiance, but allowing for a little bit of leeway, and those allegiances don't necessarily have to be permanent. So as a bit of an extra tease, the allegiances of the clans at the start: yellow are the north court supporters, blue are the southern court ones, and again keep in mind that only one colour can be present even if there's more than one clan with a different allegiance in the same location. Alright, so which one was which again? Blue is southern, so yellow is very heavily winning. And then what's green and red? Probably Ashikaga itself, and then the imperial courts potentially. I don't see anything about green. But yeah, no, that's looking really, really cool. Very, very cool. Let's zoom in on the clans, including Shimazu. Love me some Shimazu. And then looking through them, the Takeda clan, people will be very familiar with as well. Oh, very cool. I think this looks awesome. This looks really, really cool to me. Oh wait, the Takeda clan are in multiple places. Oh, that's cool. Oh, there's a bunch of people in multiple places. The Ko is here and here. Shiba is all over the place. They're over here, here. Okay, I wasn't expecting this at all. That's really cool. Uesugi as well is another fan favorite. Nice, nice, nice. And then all the way in the north, the Nanbu, another one that I think are very, very popular. Ando as well. Yeah, I think this is awesome. This is really, really cool to see. I wonder then, is Shimazu in more places, or are us Shimazu enjoyers seriously just limited to the very, very south? It kind of looks that way. But yeah, I think this looks awesome. I'm a big fan of what I'm seeing. Alright, so next week, we're going to be looking at Southeast Asia, so that is going to be very interesting. Yeah, what do I think of Japan and Korea? I think when we first saw that Japan was going to be a single country, a lot of people got very, very worried. Alright? And then as soon as the extraterritorial countries were first revealed, I saw a lot of people saying, oh, maybe this is how they're going to do Japan. Or, you know, maybe just Japan isn't finished yet and they've just put it all as one country, as, you know, they need to go in depth and do stuff. I think this is a fantastic way of representing Japan. I am really excited and looking forward to playing both as the Shogun and also as Shimazu. But yeah, that's my comment. That's my thoughts. I think it's going to be a very fun campaign. and Korea as well. I think it's also going to be very fun. Let me know in the comment section below which is the daimyo is the word I was looking for, I think. Which daimyo you are looking forward to playing as the most. Again, Shimazu, clan, rise up. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date and informed about all things coming out of Paradox Tinto with Project Caesar. And I will see you in a couple of days for the responses to the previous dev diary on slavery. That's gonna be a thing. Should be a good time. Maybe. I will see you then. Bye bye.